Moody vibes, dark colors, celestial, but make it beachy. I've been craving something a little bit different this summer, and Celestial Sands from Starlight Paper Studio fit the bill. Hi, my name is Kat, known as phamerina.planning here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today's video is my July bullet journal setup, using Celestial Sands, as I've mentioned, which is a decorative kit from Starlight Paper Studio. But first, we're actually not going to hop right into my bujo. We're going to hop onto this kind of stamping creation that I did. So I am pretty certain I probably have scrapbook paper somewhere that would fit this collection's mood, but I have no idea where it is at this point in time. So I did want to use black paper as a backdrop for pieces of my bullet journal, but I wanted to bring in the celestial theming to it. So I went digging through my stuff. I found this stamp set from Archer and Olive. I believe it was, I think they introduced it during one of their subscription boxes, like the first one where they introduced stamps. And I have some black, like shimmery ink and some gold ink from there. And that's what I use to create these two backgrounds. Nothing like super crazy or perfect, just something that I could easily incorporate through most of my spreads. So that's pretty straightforward, Just ink up the stamp, place it down. Pretty self-explanatory. You do have to wait a little bit for the ink to dry, but you know, patience makes it worth it. So we after that, we flip right on over to my cover page, which this time will be the cover page itself will be the Dutch door, the flap part of the Dutch door, because I wanted to use this fashion girl here because she's just a mood. This collection is very much not my personal style, but I feel like the fun thing about decorative or creative journaling is that you get to try these new styles in your book, or whatever format you use, and like have fun with it, because this, again, like I said, this isn't me. If you know me in real life, this is nothing like me in life. So I just really wanted to lean into the dark colors, um, and in order to highlight that, I actually decided to pair this collection with regular gold, versus light gold. I've seen people pair it with silver, which is, I think, the obvious choice. Sadie Stickers also used this clip art, and she paired the collection with silver. I did recently see Sita, the owner of Starlight Paper, do a memory spread with this, and she shared a little bit of it on her stories, and she paired it with rose gold, which I think that is like a mood in itself. But I wanted to make this feel more summery, if that makes sense. And I feel like when it comes to summer, um regular gold, the more hotter, the more yellower of the golds, hits a little bit better. I don't know. For some reason in my brain, it just is like that is part of the summer color for me, like foil color wise. So to bring this front page to life, I also brought in the Gothic frames from Saucy Stickers, and the lace, which I just think a black lace works with a lot of spreads that already have like a very dark color palette. So that's why I brought in the lace pattern from Saucy Stickers, just to finish off the edge of that Dutch door, because I didn't have a thought for how to finish that just yet. So that's my cover page. I'm working on my calendar right now, and I did make a little mistake because I do like mark the corners of all of my boxes, and instead of like stressing out about it, I'm like, you know what, I can just cover it up with a sticker, which is exactly what I did. I took one of those floral corner stickers and stuck that down. Um, and then what I really like, I think what's really fun about the gold pairing for this, the regular gold, is how well it contrasts against black. Like that black alcohol ink, I believe that's licorice from Paper Trail Lands. I don't believe that's in the shop, but it might pop up around like October or Halloween time probably. Um I really enjoy like the dark alcohol inks because they provide a great opportunity for really contrasting foil pairings. And speaking of which, I believe the letters, because I did want my month script to be visible at all times with the Dutch door open or the Dutch door closed. Those were from the Pretty Pinko. I feel like Pretty Pinko is one of those shops that really leans into the regular gold, has their kind of default gold, which is like a thing just to be cognizant of because I feel like a lot of other shops have kind of moved towards like a light gold or a lighter gold, as kind of the default gold. But like I said, I like regular gold for the summer. It hits different in the summer. So I brought in some date dots from my stash. I believe I got that in a D stash somewhere, just because I had them, and I was like, might as well just use these up. So this is my babysitting tracker. And on the right side of that, I am left right challenge, is my kind of this month task list. So, um, in order to kind of fill out the space a little bit, normally, let me rephrase here. I usually kind of try to fill this entire space out. It's just like my brain sees empty space, and I'm like, I need to fill it up with stickers. And for this spread, I feel like one, I'm working with a different decorative kit than I'm used to. Like Paper Trail Plans offers a lot in their decorative kit. Um, so I'm used to being able to pull in larger scenes and larger moments to fill up a lot of space. Whereas this kit, this format has a lot smaller deco, so I didn't want it to appear too clustered. So I told myself to keep it restrained a little bit. Plus, try out some new styles, quote unquote, to kind of challenge myself to decorate a little differently than I normally do. So I pulled in one of the large scenes and then just added some gold accents there and called it a day, right? Don't go too crazy. I will come back and write in my headers, which I think you'll probably see. I think I started here because I wanted to use some fountain pen ink, but then I ran into some problems, but you'll see in a little bit. So, for this spread, which is what is this called? My social media dashboard with a kind of calendar overview of posting on the left, and on the right is what I consider like my brain dump. So it's for PR things, happy mail things, just random thoughts, ideas that I just want to write down somewhere while I have the calendar visible next to me. Just because I'm a visual person, so I like to see things like written out, spelled out. Otherwise, it's hard for me to see it. So this is, I tried another new thing here, which was using this dip pen from a Halloween box from Archer and Olive. I feel like it was 2023. Um, it came with some calligraphy ink, which has gold flecks in it, which is really hard to see without like having a really bright, intense light on it. So it all went pretty well on this page. However, I'm like a person that has very little patience. I don't like to wait for things to dry, which is especially hard for someone who's left-handed like me. Um, so I like start to move through and start decorating with the stickers after getting this ink down. And I start realizing I'm smearing the ink just a little bit, not like a lot, but enough where I can see it. And then when I flip the page over at some point, I realized the ink had bled through the paper, even though it's 160 GSM. It's not necessarily rated for fountain pen ink. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna wait to do all of the inking because I still wanted to use this ink throughout my spread, but I was like, let's just wait till the end. Um, and you'll see what happens. There was a bit of a learning process for this calligraphy ink. My next set of spreads that I'm working on is my meals tracker, one for myself and one for my son, just to one keep note of how long things have been living in the fridge, leftovers, when do they need to go? And two, which I've explained before, but I will give a brief overview, is to track if there's meals that we're eating that he's not eating and if there's a reason why. I mean, he is a toddler right now, so he's just being a picky eater if that's the case. But if there's consistently something that we're noticing trend wise, we just want to be able to see it. So, very simple spread, nothing too crazy. My next set of spreads are like my tracker spread. So, package tracker, habits tracker, and finances tracker. I'm currently working on the finances tracker, which gets tucked under another Dutch door. I will always have this Dutch door here. And I wanted to bring in the other fashion person into the side. And I should have measured, measure twice, cut once, measure twice, stick a sticker down once. Because I was like, you know what, I can probably bump this up one more. And then as I flip the pages back and forth, I realized, oh no, this lace is going to, cover most of his face when the Dutch door is down, which I don't want to do. So I should have realistically measured one more time, or at least maybe gave a rough cut to just give myself an idea of what it was going to look like. And then for my Dutch door part, so normally I don't really care about what's on the other side. As you saw with the first Dutch door, I'm like, backside, I don't really care too much. But I think for this one, when I purchased the collection, I bought duplicates of the deco page. And I don't know why Past Cat did that, whether it was just to have more deco. But the problem is I don't really like using a lot of repeating deco, even in my bullet journal. Like, it's a curse of my own desires. So maybe I had the thought of doing a Dutch door with some of those components, which are not exactly mirrored, but they fit close enough. So like the bikini, that's not a bikini, that's like a monokini. Is that what we call that? The swimsuit. And the sunglasses were close enough to being mirrored that I could get away with doing a Dutch door with those pieces poking out. Because one of the things I really love about Dutch doors is creating interesting ways of them interacting with the pages underneath. Um, so having them poke out in interesting places, having text or clear elements, which I didn't have the brain power to figure that part out of somehow layering something over. I mean, I did do the Polaroid. I guess that's what I did. I was like, let's use the Polaroid, even though it doesn't frame his face, which I feel like I wish I thought a little bit more of possibly framing his face. But we move on. So on the underside is going to be a package tracker, like I said, which takes up a bit of space, and it will take up a bit of space in July because I had no restraint on my purchases. So this is going to be a reminder that in July is a no spend because there will be no room to write new packages in July. And then if you notice, I keep flipping the page back and forth because I did want that window element to interact with that bottom page, the page on the left side, in some capacity. So flipping this back and forth a lot, while it it can be a little tedious, I think it's worth it when the elements line up just right, and then your Dutch door is super perfect to what you want it to be. Because, like, look at that. Frame that quote with that little wave. The wave, I think the quote says free as the ocean. That's why I brought the little wave in. Paired it perfectly. It worked out so well. So I really love what happened. I did think about extending the scene across Does current cat remember what past cat did? No. So I guess we'll find out if that's what happens. This is my package tracker in itself. I have no idea how many package like how many rows there are. I kind of just feel it out, honestly. I don't really count them row wise. I count columns because my columns are order date, anticipated date, store, a description of what I purchased, a ship date, and the date it got delivered. Just because then if I notice that we're reaching the anticipated date and it's not shipped yet, I can follow up, see what's going on. Or if it's shipped and it's been longer than, because I kind of have an idea of how long things are going to ship to me from certain areas of the states. I can then follow up and see if something's going on in transit. Oh, look, I did extend the scene all the way across. Look at me. Um, so that's my package tracker. Habit tracker is very simple. Got the month, got spaces to fill in. Boom, bam. Um, so I I struggled here because I don't know what happened to the ruler I was literally just using. It probably got stuck under some papers. So then I pulled out my like usual blade edge, and it's flimsy. It doesn't stick that well. So my lines are a little wonky, but I just learned to live with the wonky lines. I'm okay with it. I don't stress about it because life's too short to worry about wonky lines. I prefer my lines to be straight. That's why you see me use a ruler, but life's too short to stress about it. So we move on. We move on. So now I am currently working on my memories spread, which I use to put pictures in, write. If there's no pictures, write about the event, mostly like a title. Like if we go to the park, go to park. Um, and I leave a lot of space. Well, actually, I used to leave a lot more space, but now I kind of take this as an advantage to do some fun sticker collaging, because I have a kind of daily diary journal type of situation that I use to go a little more in depth. So I kind of reserve the space for photos, and very brief, short sentences about my memories, and do some fun things with stickers here. Like I thought it would be really cool to use the Polaroid here, photos, memory, like it makes a lot of sense, right? And I really wanted to use the girl sitting on the rocks. Her orientation is kind of the the wrong way, as in I would have preferred for her to be facing the other direction. I feel like I build a lot of my spreads with the bottom right side occupied rather than the bottom left. But we make do. We make do. We adapt. So that's kind of really it. I'm just gonna finish off this memory spread here and just bring in some of the letters also from the Pretty Pinko. I had enough on here. I don't usually buy individual letters for this reason because I'm like, oh, I might not have enough. But I've somehow ended up with enough here. And that is my bullet journal. I'm really excited to get into it because this is just something very different from the last month. I've been craving something different, and we'll see. I hope to explore more different styles of decorative kits in my bullet journal and have more fun with it, I guess. I try to incorporate things into my standard format here. And that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you gave it a little like. Leave a comment with any of your thoughts down below. And I would be so happy if you join my little channel here by subscribing. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.